Hello, everybody. I know we're going to have a few more people popping on. We can't thank you enough for taking the time today and for taking the time next week to help us with this great event that we're going to have. I'm going to do a quick start and just tell you a little bit about who we are. I'm not going to take too much time, but some of you might not have heard of SimGHOSTS before and why we have the name SimGHOSTS, because it is very unusual, but we're the gathering of healthcare simulation technology specialists. And we are a nonprofit that was formed over 10 years ago by Lance Bailey, who is actually going to be at our conference this year. He saw a gap in the education in the healthcare simulation community for technology specialists. And so he formed this group to help, of course, bridge that gap for the education for the technology specialists particularly. And that was all through events. So we've had, Nick Fruz, do you know how many events we've had over the past 10, 12 years? I think we've had events in every continent. Do you know how many, like 15, 20 events? You would think more than that, easily more than that.
I think so, around that.
Yeah,
definitely, and pretty much touched every continent.
We have, and so we have a big annual USA event. And of course, this year it's going to be at Baylor. In 2 months after that, we're going to be in Singapore. We're looking at going to the Middle East, hopefully in November as well. So we do these events all over, and we do them in simulation centers. So we don't go into convention halls, or we don't do them in hotels, because we see how important it is to go into simulation centers and show off each one that we go to. So we are looking forward to showing off Baylor next week. So we do these events and you go, wow, you must have a really big staff. We have a staff of 1. And the rest of everybody is volunteers. We have an amazing volunteer board of 6 people, many of whom are on this call today who are going to introduce themselves at the end. But we do this, they do it through the goodness of their heart. They give up a lot of time and they work really hard to make sure that we give our attendees the best possible educational experience that they can have, that they walk away from this event just blown away with pearls and best practices that they're going to take back to their sim centers all over the world. We have people coming next week from South Africa, from Brazil, from Canada, pretty much 39 or 41 of the states. We have 281 people coming to see your faces and to learn about healthcare simulation technology. So that's really exciting to us. We also have 18 sponsors who are all going to be exhibiting. Majority of them are going to be in that activity room in the academic building. About 3 of them are going to be out in the atrium. So you're going to get to see them pretty well. And they are selling all different kind of healthcare simulation technology needs. There are going to be mannequins there. There are going to be faces. There are going to be VR. There's going to be all different kind of products. And we hope that you will take the time and go by their tables and see their wares, because it's all really pretty neat. I've been doing medical conferences for over 20 years, specifically in the physician world, and coming over to healthcare simulation, I'm still blown away with the products and services and the technology and the techniques that our techs are doing every day. It's really exciting. So I just wanted to give you that little overview of who we are as an organization, what our meeting and who our meeting attendees are. So our meeting is starts on Tuesday. That's our pre-conference day. We're expecting 80 people on Tuesday. There are morning pre-conferences and afternoon pre-conferences, and 2 that go all day long. We will have a morning break with some food and drinks. We have a lunch, and we have an afternoon break. Then Wednesday is the big day. That's when all 280 people come. And there will be registration in the atrium. And then we go straight into the auditorium for a welcome. We've got a wonderful keynote speaker, Ginger Carrick, who's coming in from Houston. She was the first female NASA control room director. And her stories are going to be about collaboration, connection, innovation, and I'm sure she's got some great NASA stories as well. So that's really exciting. And then we go straight into breakout sessions. We have 5 to 6 sessions that are going on at the same time that are covering the academic building and the CSB. So our attendees are going to be all over the place. And Baylor is fantastic, but it is confusing. And where these rooms are is a bit confusing. And so a lot of the responsibilities of our volunteers, besides registration, which we'll go into a little bit, runners, which just, you know what that means. There's always something that's on fire or something that's going to need some help. Directions is going to be key because they're going to be confused. I don't know if you can hear that thunder that's happening here. Even when we were in an all one floor simulation center last year, people got lost. So here we are now with 4 floors, 2 buildings, and 280 people. People are going to get lost, and we're going to do our very best to get them the information that they need in advance. And when that doesn't work, you have to tell sometimes you got to tell people 7 times, 7 different ways, something for them to get it right. So it's going to be crucial to have you guys helping people get to where they need to go. I will tell you that we have over 15 different signs with arrows, helping people to turn left, turn right, to find different sessions. We have yard signs that are going to help them get from the academic building over to the CSB and back and forth, just because of that little windy road that they don't, get lost and decide they want to go and get a beverage at Cookout or whatever your local drive-through is. But we want to just make sure that they get to where they need to be in a timely manner. We do have 15 minutes between each sessions. We generally don't have that much time, but we thought it was pretty important to get people to where they needed to be and give them the time to be there. We've only heard so far from one person who has concerns about being able to get back and forth between the 2 buildings. I will be sending out a bunch of messages in the coming days through Whova just to see who else thinks that they're going to have any difficulties with the heat or with mobility. And we're coming up with a plan to get the one person who's already reached out to us. You have, I hope, received information about Whova. Wahova, Whova, you've named it. I've heard it called a million different things, and it should be a contest of who can come up with the funniest way of pronouncing it. But we have been using this event platform for years, and it has been very successful for us. And what is so exciting about it, if you've gone into it yet, you'll see our attendees have been in it for a couple weeks. And they're asking questions, they're putting up photos, they're planning meetups, they're asking speaker questions, they're choosing their sessions. So we have an idea before they get there, how many people are going to be in what session, so that we can ensure that there's plenty of room for each, plenty of space for everyone who wants to go to a session. There are 2 in-conference sessions that required extra registration money. And so only the people that registered in advance for those sessions can attend those sessions. And when we determine who the session chairs are for those 2 sessions, we will give that list so that only those people can go in the room. People are prone to try to get into rooms. And even though it says a big thing at the top in Whova, this is a $75 additional session room, bless their hearts. They try to, as they say in the South, but they try to go in. And so you just, that session chair is just going to have to go, sorry, this one's just not for you today, but there's 5 other ones that you can go see for free. So, or a part of your registration. I'm going to go over a little bit about session chairs. I actually have a document that I will send out with this recording as well, just so that if you missed anything during the session, and for the people that missed being able to be here with us today, there is a breakdown of exactly what is expected from a session chair specifically. And I'll go over it a little bit with you today as well, just in case you have any questions. But has I don't want to, maybe I can get a hand, but has everybody been able to get into Whova so far? Did they get their invitations? Anybody not able to get into Whova? Can put it into the chat. Please go around and browse through and see the sessions and the agenda. It will be very helpful for you to know exactly what's going on, what rooms are being used in your on your property. And there's not that many. So we're using, is it 6 rooms or 7 rooms? I have the sheet and I don't want to stop, but we're not using that many. When you come to check in for your time to volunteer, there will be a sheet that has exactly what you're responsible for. If you're a session chair, what rooms you need to go to. And it will also have the speaker name. And from there, you can go into Whova to see every speaker has put up a bio, a profile, so you can see exactly what they're going to be talking about, what the learning objectives are, and who they are. What have I missed there? So really quickly, what we're going to go through is those volunteer positions. Registration, that's pretty cut and dry, right? There's going to be a registration table. Each registrant, attendee is going to get a name badge, and this is an example of the name badge. You will see on this badge, I don't know if you can see it, there's a QR code right here. It gives you their first name, last name, where they're from, QR code, and if they have any, this person is a SimGHOSTS member, so there's that information at the bottom. If they're a speaker, it has that. If they're a sponsor, it has that information. If they're a VIP, it also has that information. This QR code is important. That is actually what you're going to use to check somebody in if you're a check-in person, if you're a session chair. And when I put everyone in as session chairs, you should have received an email with directions about being about how to check someone in. Did you guys receive that information? The reason why I asked that is sometimes Whova emails, because it's coming from a mass, will go straight into spam or firewall, especially for schools. It will just nip it. It'll just refuse them. If you did not receive that information, I will also be sending it after this with a copy of this video, with a copy of the instructions for session chair. But what I do have is a quick video right now that I'm going to show you that shows just a little bit about the session chair stuff in particular. And then I'm going to go back to registration. So let me share my screen and you're going to see how many tabs I have open, which I have no shame in that game. Let's see here. I think it's right here. Just can't get to the screen.
And click the blue check-in button to check them in. With the mobile app, you can also scan QR codes to check your attendees in. Click check-in via QR code at the bottom of the app. This will pull up a built-in QR code scanner. Attendees can easily pull up their QR codes from their Whova mobile app, or you can also generate the QR codes on our name badges to easily scan and hand over as they arrive. And as mentioned previously, check-in staff can also use the mobile app to help with the check-in process. Under the attendees tab,
Oh gosh, it's still going.
admin settings on the left.
Oh, a second.
There, scroll down and click Add Check-in Staff. Fill out the information.
Okay. Were you able to hear that? Because that seemed really quiet. You were able to hear it. Okay, wonderful. Because it was really quiet on my end. But it's really easy to check people in. If you go into the app, into the Whova app, you go into administrative settings, you go to check in, and you use QR code, and you just like you're doing a QR code, you put your camera right over it, and it picks it right up, and it checks them right in. It is as easy as that. Could not be more simple. And you go, why are you checking people in? This gives us the knowledge of who went to what sessions, because at the end of all of this conference, we tabulate all that time and all those sessions of what they've seen into their professional development record that's in our SimGHOSTS membership portal. And it gives them credit hours that they can use for accreditation review or performance reviews. It just shows their employees that they actually did not just go to Dallas and go to a rodeo, that they actually did go to the conference, learn something, or at least was in the room to be able to learn something, right? And it also helps us to know in the future what was the most popular items. Maybe we could add more of those to the next conference, or something maybe we can develop an online course with, or something of that nature. But that's why we do that check-in process. At the end of the conference, they get a certificate as well that breaks down how many hours they participated in. All of the sessions. So you go, oh my goodness, there's 6 different options. One person can go into one at one time. Our whole goal is to video record every session that we're having. So the ones that they missed will all be put into Whova, and they'll be able to watch the sessions that they missed. So I think that is also very key, but it is important and in Whova, we see who watches what videos in Whova. So then we also give them the credit for that time as well. I kind of went off subject because I was so excited about showing you this in the QR code, but at the registration desk, we'll go over it. Anyone who will be volunteering with me at the registration desk, because that's pretty much where I'll be sitting for quite a bit of time. Everyone's going to be getting of course, a badge. They're going to be getting a bag full of goodies. We've got, to my knowledge from Baylor, a lovely water bottle to help these people stay hydrated so we don't have anybody pass out on us. We've got some goodies from our sponsors. And then, of course, the bag is from us. And so we'll be handing them a badge and a bag, and we're going to be directing them to where they need to go to next. After registration's done, we have, of course, the runners. That's just hey, what needs, what fire? And there's going to be some. You got 281 people. You got 10% of people that are going to be unhappy with something. That's just human nature, right? They're going to be minor things, but it's things that we can all work on. And especially with SimGHOSTS not being as familiar with your property, we are coming early to make sure everything's set up and to get to know your home. We're really going to need that expert advice from you locals, right? So that's what runners are. Directions, that's self-explanatory. There's going to be a lot of people asking, where do I need to go? You're going to hear a lot of, especially that first day. On Wednesday, it's going to be, it's going to be chaos. It'll be a little crazy. So that's really, really a critical, I can't stress that enough. And how people are going to see you every day when you come in for your time, you'll go up to the registration desk. You'll get a red handkerchief to wear around your neck or your arm or around your head, just so that people know that you're the person that's going to help them along the way. And you're going to get a sheriff's badge because, of course, you are sheriffs now, and it's going to we got SimGHOSTS sheriff badges for you to wear as well. So people can easily recognize who they can go up to for assistance, where the bathroom is, where's my next session, just overall questions. We will also, all of the SimGHOSTS board of directors and key volunteers are going to have walkie-talkies with with a repeater so that it does go between each building so that we can communicate unless there's something that, if something is really, really needs instant, help, or if you have questions about something, we will have a way to communicate with most, if not everybody, and we'll figure all that out. We're still kind of working through those logistics, but we'll have that all figured out before we start everything on Tuesday. Gentlemen, what am I missing? Nick, Farouz, what am I missing? Can you think of anything?
I think you covered everything. And did we send them also the document, the volunteer documentations and look? Okay, perfect. That's the only things I wanted to.
Yeah.
mention.
So like I said, you show up for your time each day, you will get a handkerchief, a sheriff's badge. I never thought I'd ever say that. A list of what your responsibilities, where you should be standing. You go directions. What does that mean? Where am I going to go? We'll have exactly, we want you standing at this location and pointing people in the right direction. If you're a runner, we're going to assign you to someone. If you're a session chair, you'll know exactly what sessions you're in charge of, where they're at, who that speaker is. And on that sheet, which I think I should go ahead and share my screen because I have that up just so that we can see it just really quickly since we have time. This is what it's a session chair guide. Can everyone see my screen? Should I blow it up a little bit? This is, your main responsibilities is checking in your attendees. You are going to introduce the speaker. You do get prepared and you help with Q&A at the end if there is time. And then you conclude the session on time. And you'll see that in bold. It's critical that these sessions end on time. So it does go through step by step of, making sure that you're watching your clock and giving them a signal during the session when it's 5 minutes left so that they know that they need to start wrapping things up. But you'll see, we put a lot of words on these 2 pages. So it will give pretty much every bit of information that you need. I don't think we'll need a lot of step-by-step directions for runners or for registration desk. I think it will be pretty self-explanatory and for the directions, but the session chair, as you can see, is really pretty important just to make sure that they come 5 to 10 minutes in advance. They've been told today, and we'll tell them again that they need to bring their presentations on a jump drive. We will have an AV person in each room at each session to make sure everything's up and running so that you're not responsible for that in any way. You wouldn't want me to do it, that's for darn sure. And then just making sure that they stay on time, and then to help with any Q&A. There's no real need in any of the spaces except the auditorium for microphones or anything like that. So you won't be responsible for anything of that nature, but we'll make sure that all the AV and everything is up and running, and that you just make sure that you check people in, you introduce the speaker, you help them stay on time, and then you help them with the Q&A at the end. Who's got questions?
Jacqueline, I just wanted to also point out the discussion that we were having earlier amongst ourselves about the point of contact from the board. So each day, it would be nice if we could all meet prior to the start of the conference. That way we can kind of get a game plan, and for you all also to know who the point of contact is for each of those days. Will we have, Jacqueline, you'll know this, will we have volunteers and folks on Tuesday for the pre-con, or are we just having Wednesday through Friday?
No, we do have volunteers for Tuesday.
Okay.
And just so you know, Nick, that the volunteer time's in chunks, so not everyone's going to be there first thing in the morning.
Okay.
So, but as we get closer and I send more information out in email. So please keep an eye out in your email. Any morning person that, or going to be a majority of the morning, we're going to have a team meeting every morning as the board. And we would love to have you join that meeting, but we certainly understand if you can't be there. But we will let you know who your point of contact is each day. Because, it'd be unfair for one board member. That's all they do all day long. So, so we definitely want to. And, the wonderful thing about session shares is that as a host, there's so much to do, but we also want you to be able to be there and learn, right? So definitely your sim staff, and that's what I've seen from Beverly. Beverly's done. Oh, she's just done such a wonderful job. And so is Jeannie. I don't even know I don't know if you guys know how lucky you guys have it, but they're wonderful, wonderful. And the whole staff is, but she's been pretty clear and they're making sure that your staff, there's sessions that you really want to see, that's where you're volunteering so that you can see and learn during that session. Beverly, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, we shot the video today, and so we'll be uploading that to Huva, and I think you're really going to enjoy that. I'll have that ready tomorrow.
Wonderful.
That'll help with direction for the actual people that are coming.
So what she's talking about is they've done a fun video to show people how to get to every room. So, because I will say that, we have a bunch of affiliates in the simulation community, and there was a simulation event 2 weeks ago. And that was one of, we learn. That's how we learn from different meetings. And one of the big problems they had was directions. And so, you learn from other people. A meeting that was a couple weeks ago, there wasn't enough room in each session for people who wanted to go. So that's how we learned about, making sure that we have enough room for each one. So we try to learn as we go. So we thought one of the fun things we could do was to film a video. Thank you, Beverly, and your team, to show how to get to each room. We're going to put that up in Huva. We're also going to run it during the opening comments, just to also show people, again, like I said, 7 times, 7 different ways before someone gets to someone, for someone to get it. So the more that we can get information out, and the maps are, you've got some unusual buildings. So it's really hard. Those maps are very confusing in themselves. So we're going to try our best to see if we can put a map together too. I did miss something that's really pretty key. Food. So we're feeding 280 people. Where do you think 280 people are going to sit in your buildings? They're not. So we are being very creative in finding places for them to sit down. The meals are all they're all boxed so that they can grab really quickly and go find a place to sit. There'll be outside opportunities in the 106-degree weather. We'll have 30 cocktail rounds throughout the building. We will have the auditorium has those all the seats have the little slide-on chairs. And we have that break room area that's across from the activity room. So we're going to have to get creative. That's a wonderful thing about the sim community. It's a close-knit community, and we're running with that slogan, and that great things come in small packages, and connections, getting close to each other during a pandemic is awesome. So we're just rolling with it. But I do want to say that will probably be the most chaotic time, especially that first day. People are going to go, where the heck am I supposed to go with this box of food now that I have a box of food? So we're just going to have to help them as much as possible, find places for them to stand and eat, sit and eat, and keep cool as much as they can keep cool. And you go, well, where's the food going to be? It's all going to be in the activity room. That's where the exhibitors are going to be. And then down the middle of that room is going to be 4 8-foot tables that have all the food for all of our morning, afternoon breaks, and lunch. I just really want to quickly, the board members that are on the call, I would love for you to introduce yourselves so everyone can see you. Bruce?
Yes, Bruce, I'm the president of SimGHOSTS and a board member since the inception of SimGHOSTS. So it's been an honor to see you all, and thank you very much for volunteering for our organization. I can't wait to see you all in person. Thank you.
Nick?
Yes, I'm Nick Brower, Vice President of SimGHOSTS, and like Farouz, I've been around for many, many years and have seen the organization really develop into a wonderful society. And as Jacqueline mentioned earlier, we are an organization of all volunteers with the exception of Jacqueline. And we greatly appreciate her work, but also greatly appreciate you all as well as volunteers to help us out and run this conference.
I can't, I think I saw Matt Stieber. Ah, there he is. There's Matt.
Matt and Chin is here too.
Aha.
I am, excuse me, Matt Stieber, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've been putting Ghost conferences now since 2015, and I've been on the board of directors for about a year now. And I'm going to be AV coordinator next week, so I'm sure I'm going to be running around seeing a lot of you folks. And thank you very, very much for helping us out.
And just to add, Matt was our host last year. His center was our host. And we're all volunteers. The entire board is volunteers like you.
Chin, I saw your name.
Yep, I'm here. My name is Chen. Just like Matt, I've been doing SimGHOSTS since 2015, I think. And I'm a newer member of the board, and really, really excited to meet all you guys. And looking forward to the Dallas, and looking forward to checking out Baylor.
I should mention really quickly, and I don't know if I see any other board members on here. If I miss you, I'm sorry. We're our meetings are known for fun. We don't take ourselves very seriously. There's a lot of serious meetings in simulation. We're serious about learning, but we're serious about having a good time, and we're serious about making connections and building long-lasting relationships. And we find that you get just as much education in the hallway and in the breaks in terms of talking to each other and talking about what they've learned about and having fun. So I really felt like I needed to mention that, because we are the irreverent kind of fun cousin in the healthcare simulation world. So a lot from looking at everybody, we ask a lot of questions when people register. And I did notice that we've got a good 60% of people who've never been to a SimGHOSTS conference before. So you go, who are these people? So these are people that are coming into healthcare simulation who have come from. That's the one thing about, there's no one that's generally gotten an undergraduate degree. I don't think there was one at one time. I don't think there is anymore. You know, they come from all different backgrounds. There's EMTs, there's hairdressers, there's gym teachers. There's people with amazing backgrounds that have come into healthcare simulation. They've fallen in some way or another, and they have specialties. They have AV specialties, IT specialties. Some people are moulage. What you're going to see is just amazing what people can do. So they're going to come in with big eyes, and they're just ready to learn, and they're new to this world, and they're going to walk away with a lot of information, and they're going to be so thankful to you for helping them get through this 3-day journey. Jeannie, do you want to mention anything?
Oh, we're very excited. And when you said that about, this being a fun group, I mean, one of the things I like to say in simulation, especially when we do this one sim activity called Bafa, it is very possible to laugh and learn. The two are not mutually exclusive. So yeah, we're excited to be hosting, and looking forward to sharing our space with others and learning with and from others. So Erin's getting all ready and raring here with her Texan. So we'll see, just but we are excited, and who knows, maybe it won't be quite as hot, but it's been a pretty hot summer. So
I will also give you a heads up that on Wednesday morning, as the attendees are coming in, we have a trio mariachi band that's going to be performing outside as they walk in to get a little taste of being in Texas. And then we've got some other special things that are happening through the week, just to make sure they know where they are, and to make sure they get a little flavor of what Texas has to offer, specifically the yummy food. We've got some Frios. If you're familiar with their yummy frozen pops, they're coming Wednesday to help cool us down a little bit. We've got a lot of Texas barbecue being served, and we've got a lot of fun games and contests. Our group loves some competition, so you're going to be seeing some different things happening throughout the 3 days. So again, we can't thank you enough. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Keep an eye out in your inbox. I'll be sending out more directions and more information. And please, we cannot stress enough, if you have any questions, please just give us a call or send us an email. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you. Look forward to see you all.